Coming up is the annual Black Friday shopping event on the 27th of November, with retailers offering considerable discounts in an attempt to attract customers in the run up to Christmas. But this year, with bricks and mortar stores closed in the UK at least, it has become an exclusively online affair. Retail economics forecasts that 47% of Christmas shopping will be done during Black Friday. And joining me to discuss is Richard Lim. He's the CEO at Retail Economics. Richard, great to chat to you again. Before we get into Black Friday, give us a sense of the impact of the second lockdown here in the UK on the retail sector. Just how bad is it? Which sectors within the retail sector have been hit hardest?
Sure. The reality is that the second lockdown could not have come at a worse time for the industry. We're going into this all-important kind of golden quarter, and the reality as well is that retailers gone through a really, really disruptive year so far. Many of them are still reeling from the original impact of the first lockdown, trying to preserve working capital, and this crucial period is a time for retailers to rebuild and strengthen their balance sheets. So we actually did a piece of research, and what we estimate is that the closure, this second lockdown, will cost non-essential retail around about £6.8 billion over that 4 week period. And so it's a devastating blow for the sector. And I think it's worth mentioning as well that this is going to be felt really intensely across the SME part of the market as well. So other than the kind of the impact across retailers from a consumer perspective, what it's really encouraged people to do is to bring forward their purchases because they're worried potentially about an extension of the lockdown, and also worried about availability of products. So what our research showed is that there's about a quarter of consumers who are actually planning to bring forward their Christmas purchases because of fears around availability. And there's about 1 in 5 that are planning to do Christmas shopping during that Black Friday period.
Yeah, so just how important is Black Friday then for retailers this year, given everything that you've said, given the fact the stores are closed, given those considerable pressures on the sector? And what type of goods do you think are likely to be most in demand?
So Black Friday is still a hugely significant event in the retail calendar. And I think that realistically, most retailers are approaching Black Friday and really stretching out the event. So it's going to be more like a Black November event. So the impact of lockdown have this seismic shift towards online, and that's really benefiting online retailers that have the capacity to cope. But it's also putting enormous strain on the capacity of online right throughout the supply chain. So the pressures being felt across distribution centres and warehouses. There's pressure on online platforms and IT systems, but really, really crucially as well, there's a lot of pressure on that final mile delivery and capacity within the courier network. So it's going to be a testing time. In terms of the types of products, as we've seen in previous years, consumers have really focused their attention towards electricals, apparel, and toys. And so that's something that we've seen develop over the last few years. And actually, we've seen that the incidences of shopping online are highest across younger consumers. And we've also seen evidence so far that this is going to roll out this year as well. So in terms of how that's going to impact the industry, we're going to see that further and more extreme polarization of sales towards the online channel. And then we're also going to see a concentration of spending towards fewer categories, the ones that I mentioned previously. And overall, that's actually going to benefit fewer retailers as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, this sounds like it all plays into the hands of Amazon nicely. Is there a risk that Black Friday and lockdown is just going to strengthen Amazon's dominance at the expense of some of those other shops that are selling the same goods?
It's inevitable that this set of circumstances is really going to strengthen Amazon's market share across the whole of the retail sector. And I think the challenge for many retailers, especially those mid-tier retailers, is that they don't necessarily have the capacity to be able to deal with these huge kind of a step change in the proportion of online sales. So it's those larger retailers that have spent decades of investing in streamlining their online operations, automating processes, and have the capacity to deal with this step change in online sales who are going to benefit the most.
Now, the latest retail sales figures in the UK saw that sales grew by 4.9% in October. That was the fifth consecutive monthly gain. Give us a sense of what you're expecting in terms of retail sales in the run up to Christmas this year versus last year. As you said, it's this golden quarter, this all important quarter, but there's so much uncertainty around Christmas, whether we're going to be able to spend Christmas with our families. So how do you see that impacting retail spending ahead of the holiday?
So the lockdown is going to have a significant detrimental effect on sales across the industry. Of course, as I've already mentioned, that big shift is towards online, and that is going to benefit a certain part of the market, those retailers that have that really good online proposition. What our research actually showed that in terms of the quantum of this shift, there's about 20% of UK consumers who are planning to do the majority of their online of their Christmas shopping online. There's actually about 13% who say that they're going to do at least 90% of their Christmas shopping online. So this is a huge change here.
Okay, so in the retail sector, I mean, when we talk about retail, there are so many different subsectors, whether we're talking about luxury at one end, consumer staples, the supermarkets, and so much in between. Who are the likely winners and losers this year?
So the likely winners are going to be those that have a really sophisticated online proposition, those retailers that can show some creative and innovative solutions in terms of trying to overcome some of the bottlenecks that we're likely to see heading into Christmas. So we've seen some partnerships that have arisen over the summer. So partnerships with Deliveroo and Marks and Spencer's, for example, but also some innovation like click and collect, where staff are taking parcels into people's cars so they don't actually have to go into physical shops. So that's likely. We're likely to see further innovation around that. For us, I think there's three main trends that we see unfolding at the moment. We're seeing this channel shift, which is, of course, the shift towards online, but we're also seeing a redistribution of spending across physical channels as well. So we're seeing that consumers are showing a strong preference towards retail parks where they can travel for free, they can park. The shop floor is typically bigger box where retailers can have effective social distancing, and that creates the safety element that consumers are looking for in terms of where they want to shop at the moment. The second trend for us is around lifestyle changes. And so we've seen more working from home. We've seen things like cooking from scratch become more popular as well. And that's really benefiting some sectors, for example, homewares and furniture, especially kind of smaller ticket items where people just want to improve their home living environments. Now, I think the third big trend for us is around this transference of spend. And we've seen people cancel holidays. We're seeing people do much less commuting. And actually, this has led to a significant boost in discretionary spending for some parts of the market. These are typically more affluent households who have better job security, who perhaps feel more confident about their personal finances and the performance of the economy. So actually, these three areas are going to filter through and actually benefit some parts of the retail sector much more strongly than other parts.
All right, Richard, thank you so much for your answers as always. And that was Richard Lim. He's the CEO at Retail Economics, joining us there to talk about Black Friday, which is on Friday, the 27th of November, extending into Cyber Monday. I'm Victoria Scholar, and thank you so much for watching IGTV.
For more videos like these, subscribe to our YouTube channel, IG UK, and make sure to follow us on Twitter. We're at IGTV.